it is a historic day. It's a historically sad day. This is the back-in-debt budget. After Alberta had been proud of the legacy of becoming debt-free under Klein in 2004, this premier is plunging this province back into debt, significant debt. She's been calling this a once-in-a-generation budget. She's right about that. It took a generation to pay off the Getty debt. It is going to take a generation to pay off the Redford debt as well. I don't think I'd be smiling if I were this premier. This certainly is not a budget worth smiling about. Well, it says to me that they're breaking their own law. They were never supposed to go into operational deficit. There had been some parameters for what they could do. It's quite clear to me that they don't want to live up to the commitments they made to Albertans, and she doesn't want to live up to the commitments that she made during the election. She promised that she would not go back to debt. She promised that she would get spending under control. She promised that she would raise taxes. She promised that she would start saving money. It looks to me that what we're actually seeing is that we're going to have massive billion-dollar debts for the foreseeable future. When you look at where we're at today, we're going to have $17 billion in debt by the time we go into the next election. They're going to be increasing interest payments by $200 billion per year. They're going to be spending over $1 billion in interest payments by the time we go into the next election. She certainly didn't campaign on this. This is not what Alberta wants.
She said she had no choice, Danielle. I mean, population is still growing, tuition and double, but there's no choice.
I simply don't agree. If they'd taken our advice 3 years ago when we started producing our alternative budget, we were talking about these things then. We knew that they were in trouble. We knew they had to control year-over-year spending. We knew that they needed to have a realistic capital plan that they could afford. And we knew that they had to cut wasteful spending. We'll be putting forward our alternative budget again tomorrow. Rob's working on the last few bits of number crunching, and you'll be able to see what we would do if we were government. The problem is these guys have kept on digging, and what this budget shows is they're going to keep on digging for the foreseeable future. They have taken in about a decade, $17 billion of savings, and turned it into $17 billion worth of debt. This has got to be an historic squandering of wealth. I don't think we have seen such a squandering of wealth in our province's history.
What's your estimate of the size of the deficit this year?
Well, this is part of the problem. They are now trying to pretend that we have three different budgets. My view is the same view that Ralph Klein and Jim Dinning had. You have one set of books. You look at how much your revenues are, you subtract how much your expenses are, and what you have left over should be a surplus. They're trying to pretend by cutting it up into three different budgets that somehow they're not going to be running against the cash shortfall that we know they are. We calculate it to be about $5.5 billion. They're going to have to take $2 billion out of our savings, and they're going to have to borrow $3.5 billion this year alone just to make the ends meet. So we think they're short $5.5 billion. And by the time we get into the next election, we're looking at a $17 billion